So, you guys know that last video I made? No, not that one. The Chapter 90 predictions video? Well, you know what? You can just take it and throw it out the goddamn window, because that's pretty much what happened. Anyway, hello everyone, my name is Kostine, and as you already know from the title of this video, we're talking about Chapter 90. This chapter went in a completely different direction from what I originally expected, and there was a lot to talk about. But before that, quick disclaimer, I've been really sick this entire week, and I just got my regular voice back, so I hope I don't make any mistakes while talking, but at least I don't sound like a dying whale now, so that's a thing, I guess. Anyway, without further ado, let's get to the point. So this chapter starts off with Historia, Zahyou, and Pixis talking about whether or not they should give back to people the memories that First King took from them. And they make some pretty valid points, because let's be real, telling everyone that everything they've ever known in their whole life has been a lie is a pretty big thing, and you can't really just expect them to go along with it like, oh, well, guess that's a thing now. And they actually do that. Yeah, Hanji and Levi, with the help of Berg newspapers, you know, those guys from the Uprising arc, spread the information to the public, and their response is, well, mixed, to say at least. I mean, come on, you're basically telling these people that Titans are humans, the king built the wall 100 years ago, removed everyone's memories with the power of the Titans, and there's a nation of oil-crazed maniacs which are going to invade. I mean, it just doesn't get any better, right? Honestly though, this had to happen. I mean, keeping this information away from the public is probably not a good idea. Now, I don't know how much the population knew about the Survey Corps operation. I mean, the point was to retake Wall Maria, but I don't know if they were informed about the information that would be found in Aaron's basement. Either way, the truth is out, the response is mixed, and now I get to my next point. Flock. For the last few chapters, this guy has simply been getting on my nerves. Now, in this chapter in particular, he does actually get some more dialogue, and he is basically speaking on behalf of all the fodder characters in Attack on Titan, which have been used as, well, fodder. He asks even if other characters like him could possibly make their own judgments, and in a way I can get where he's coming from, but my problem with Flock comes from a totally different place. Now, let me just say this. I've read a lot of works of fiction, I've seen a lot of works of fiction, and I have even written some works of fiction myself. And if there's one character which I absolutely hate in any work of fiction you could possibly imagine, it's that minor character that gets to do something important cliché and then acts like they're king of the fucking world. I absolutely hate this type of character. I hate it with a passion. And this has been Flock in this chapter in particular. And by default, the more dialogue this character gets, the more I dislike him. Yes, he did make a point with the whole "am I just father" thing, but the thing which he says to Jean, Connie, and Sasha is just bullshit. He tells them that while the whole serum argument was going on, they were just sitting on the side and doing nothing. Okay, just hold up. Listen to me here for 1 minute. Connie had his throat burned by the Colossal Titan. Sasha was injured and unconscious the whole time, and a few hours after that. And John, I don't even need to talk about him because all three of them got there after the whole argument thing was done. I think Flock needs to reread chapter 84. And if you thought I was done, oh no, there's a part with Hitch too. So we see Hitch, and the whole fandom's like, oh crap, she's gonna find out. So, you know, Jean tells Flock, okay, tell her the truth. So he basically tells her,
well, Hitch, Margo was a pretty brave guy, you know, he led the others when the commander fell. It was a pretty shit situation. But, you know what, he probably regretted doing that shit in the end.
And meanwhile, I'm just sitting there like, dude, when the actual I'm sorry, but is there by any chance some kind of extraterrestrial force compelling you to act like a godforsaken piece of shit? Dear God, my boy Zeke should have just shredded this asshole. Now, I know I've been making this kind of over-exaggerate for the past few minutes, but that is pretty much my honest opinion about Flock. Like I already said, he did, however, make some valid points. I mean, looking at it, every single one of these characters is a human with dreams, goals, and a purpose in life. However, here's the problem that I have with Flock. He was briefed about the suicide attack. He was not supposed to survive it, and he knew that if he went along on that mission, he was going to die in the suicide attack against Zeke. However, him surviving it, he was ready to die and he accepted it. He could have just ran away, and even if he miraculously could have survived that barrage of rocks, it wouldn't make any difference. He was ready to die and he went for that attack. And him surviving it does not give him the right to act in the way he does, in the slightest. He did, however, do his job. He brought Erwin to Levi and he technically saved his life. Of course, he really didn't have a say in the serum thing directly, but neither did Armin. He sacrificed himself against Bertholdt, and he knew that he was going to die. He didn't have a say in the whole serum thing either. So Floch can make exactly 0 arguments against Armin. It's just pointless. Anyway, this has been it about Floch. Like I already said, I really don't like this guy at the moment, but surprisingly, and this may come unexpected to some of you, but I am actually looking forward to see what he does in the future, since he is one of the very few members of the Survey Corps left. Moving on, we also get some more monologue from Eren's side. He thinks about what happened last chapter and the whole thing with Historia turning into a Titan and him not wanting to sacrifice her. You know, that's understandable, but this does currently make a block in the story progression, so we're gonna have to see how that plays out. As he kisses Historia's hand and thus establishes a physical contact with a member of the royal family, he gets another memory, more specifically the Rice Cave flashback with Grisha and what he actually said to Frieda. He actually begged her to destroy the Colossal and Armor Titans to prevent humanity from falling apart, but at that point I think it's safe to say it was too late, and either way, Frieda had other plans. And she's like nervous at first and then kinda closes her eyes, and from that point on you can immediately see that's the king. Before we get to the main event, there's the 1-year time skip. I am not entirely sure how to feel about this. I mean, usually at the end of the arc, there's always been some kind of a time skip. I mean, at the Clash of the Titans arc, you know, they got back from the battle and there was a time skip. And in the Uprising arc, there was Historia's coronation, there was a time skip. And now there's a time skip again, but a full year. That's very interesting, but the most important thing is, they are pretty much done with the whole killing Titans thing. Most of the Titans that had been on the island were concentrated inside Wall Maria because Titans are, as we all know, attracted to large groups of people, so they naturally follow the walls, and the Titan guillotine made by Eren's hardening ability has basically killed every single Titan on the island that has reached Walrose. And although this was shown pretty casually in like 2 pages in the whole chapter, it's a pretty big thing. I mean, this was the original goal of all of humanity, to wipe out all of the Titans, and now they have wiped out all of the Titans. You can see the different direction that the story is taking and how quickly it's changing with these last few chapters. So the year is now 851, which is really interesting, and the Survey Corps, for the first time in 6 years, goes on an expedition outside Wall Maria, after it's once again populated and is of course a habitable place. Now, when I first read this chapter, I was actually confused when I read that. Like, when I heard they were going outside of Wall Maria, I thought they were going towards Mali, like, instantly, and I saw, like, 9 people or something, like, whole Survey Corps, and I'm like, they're going towards Mali with 9 people? But yeah, that was my mistake. And here comes the main event. They actually go to the ocean in chapter 90. I was not expecting this. Now, I'm not one of the people who like expected the ending to be on the ocean, like them just looking away from the ocean, like we're free or something like that. But I did not expect to get the ocean in the same chapter that left off where chapter 89 left off. That was just wow. Sure, there's a time skip, but the ocean already? And since it's the ocean and they went straight south, they also see the wall where Marley transformed aliens into Titans. Now, I'm not gonna lie, the ocean scene made me really happy. Like, this has been one of the other main goals of the whole series, so apart from killing off the Titans. Like, Armin's dream was to see the ocean, Eren wanted to see the ocean. Seeing some relief with everyone soaking their feet in the water and talking about, wow, it's so big, all of this is salt water, and seeing Connie, Sasha, and John just playing in the water, and Mikasa, that was amazing. My last point would have to be Eren. Eren's character has changed a lot. You can tell how much he's affected by his father's memory, and this whole thing is not just a random newsflash to him. He is legitimately affected and changed by all of this. I think one thing that's really symbolic, and I had someone else point this out, he's grown out his hair, and you can actually see some things wrong with that. For example, at the start of the manga, he tells Mikasa to cut her long hair so that she doesn't get in a training accident. He also insults John's long hair in the time skip in the Uprising arc, and now he grows his hair out long. Now, this isn't necessarily that important, but it really shows that the things that made his character are slowly disappearing and are being replaced by other things, making him a new character. A lot of people saw this chapter, especially this part, potential death flag for Eren, and although I can't exactly see the correct examples for this, the direction the story is taking, when you take this ending of this chapter into account, it's just looking really different compared to what we had until now, and I'm not quite sure how to feel about it. It's really hard to describe, but when you read this chapter and you think about how is this going to end, you can get a lot of different ideas. So one thing that's important, and this pretty much confirms it to me, is that they have decided to go with the war option. Now, what I mean by this is the Eldia race is hated by the entire world for basically being able to take over the entire world, and when they're called the Devil's Race, it's not for nothing. The world has a reason to hate these people. Like, these people have done a lot of shit in the past, and they can do it again. But the thing is, these characters are going to fight. They are going to kill Marley and whoever else stands in their way, and Eren's question of whether or not that can actually be called freedom is very, very good. That is a very good question, and the best part of the chapter is probably that last line. If we kill everyone on the other side of this ocean, will we be free? It really gives you some food for thought alongside everything else this chapter as to what direction the story is going to take. And to me personally, I really don't know. I think I may just put off the predictions from now on because honestly, this is the end of the arc and the end of the volume, and next arc is probably going to be the final arc in the series, so I really just don't know what kind of predictions I should make right now. There really isn't anything to do, but one thing I do know is that they are not crossing the ocean without the Wall Titans. Unless they build boats on the shore, which is risky since Marty can attack at any time, I really don't know how they are going to do this if Eren does not at least tell everyone what he knows about Dina and Historia and all of that. So anyway, this has been my review or an opinion of Attack on Titan Chapter 90. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sorry for the rambling and the mistakes I may have made. Like I said, I've been really sick this past week, but I really wanted to make this. So yeah, my name is Ghost Titan, and I will see you guys next time.